Hello everyone, and welcome back to another TV review. I don't do a lot of these, but I try to when I can, and anyone who's watched the channel for a long time knows that I'm a massive Doctor Who fan, yet I've never reviewed any part of Doctor Who for the channel before. Don't ask me why, I have no idea how this happened, but with the show coming back and with it restarting with Season 1, I thought I'd take the opportunity to just review the episodes as they come out. Typically, I review shows after they're done and kind of do the whole thing, which you can catch with X-Men 97 very soon. But as I said before, I'm a massive fan of this show, and I'm going to do every episode. I'm going to start doing that because I love it. Now, to clarify, they kind of retroactively made the Church on Ruby Road the season premiere when you go on Disney+. I'm not going to cover that one. I'm just going to cover Space Babies and the Devil's Chord. I'll briefly talk about Church on Ruby Road, but the review's mostly going to be the other two. Also, if you guys like this and you want to see more Doctor Who content, please tell me what you want to see. I would love to make Doctor Who videos all the live long day. Also, spoiler warning, I will be revealing details about the episodes, so if you haven't watched them, go watch them and then come back and watch this video. Overall, in a broad sense, I really liked both episodes. I thought that The Devil's Chord was a much better episode than Space Babies, but I didn't think Space Babies was horrible, although it does have some moments that I think don't quite work, and I'll just dive into it now. Something that I thought was interesting about Space Babies is it really is designed to be like a Season 1, Episode 1 of a show, with how they're explaining, the bits of the lore, you're getting a little bit exposition here and there. They're not doing all of it because they want the new audience to kind of learn it as they go. But I thought that the way that it was explained to Ruby, the way the Doctor explained things about himself to Ruby was interesting. It was well done. And that's mostly through their performances. And by the way, Gatwa and Millie Gibson, such great chemistry together. Ncuti Gatwa has been crushing it. I think he's great in the role, and I think them together is really great. I'm still kind of want to see what Millie Gibson can do on her own if she gets the chance to have like an episode that's more centered around her. I do want to see that, but as of right now, I'm really loving the two of them together. Something that I loved about the Space Babies episode was its kind of subtle political commentary. We know with Russell T Davies, sometimes you can either get really cool, subtle political commentary, or you can get very loud, in-your-face political commentary, and your enjoyment of that is just going to come down to preference. But I really liked the social political commentary in this episode, particularly when the babies kind of explain that, the people that brought them there really try hard to make sure that they were born, but then when they were born, they abandoned them. And it's like, aha, I live in America. I know exactly what you're talking about. I was a little bit worried that the idea of the Space Babies themselves would be too cheesy and not work. The actual concept and the execution was fine for the most part. Something with Russell T Davies' writing that I find interesting is that he's really good at the campiness of Doctor Who, and he's really good at human drama. And you get both in this episode. However, sometimes where I think Davies can kind of fumble is just the mixing of those tones and how they come together. Some of his best episodes master that perfectly, and some of his worst fumble the bag. And while for the most part I think it worked in Space Babies, there are a couple instances where I was like, I don't know if this tonal clash is working. Moments that I loved in the episode were the speech that the Doctor gives to that one baby where he, in a nutshell, basically says, there's nothing wrong with you and how you grow up. Prime Doctor Who stuff, it was beautiful. I also liked the visual references to Alien, and this show has all the money now. It used to have none of the money. And I think for the most part, it's a very good thing. And I like that they did a practical costume with the bogeyman in this episode. It was very cool to see. Something that Russell T Davies does exceptionally well is setting up the main kind of plot for the seasons or the series. And he does it again here. It started with Church on Ruby Road, and it goes into here when you get a brief sequence of the Doctor seeing Ruby's mother again. I am so fascinated by Ruby Sunday and her backstory and her mother. I want to know it. I want to know it all. Give it to me. I'm so excited to learn more. He actually has multiple things that he's setting up, which I'll get into at the end of the video. I think the episode also did a good job of having Millie Gibson's Ruby be kind of the audience surrogate character, and it's really, other than the Church on Ruby Road, it's her first time traveling with the Doctor and kind of seeing how he treats people, what he does, and the danger that she can be in. And I think especially in the scenes where in the control room and she's kind of looking at everything, you can see on her face kind of just how taken aback she is, but at the same time, she's got to keep moving in that situation, and she adapts quite well. The end of the episode was a bit hit or miss for me. I do like how the Doctor saved the bogeyman monster. I thought that was very cool, and I love the overall idea and theme that children need to be scared as part of growing up. It's kind of even an allegory for Doctor Who itself, and I thought that was really well done. The actual ending with the ship basically farting to get them home, didn't love it, but overall, I thought the episode was perfectly fine. Now moving into the Devil's Chord. I thought this episode was really, really good. It does have a couple moments that I don't like, that I think just were great ideas not executed well, but overall, thoroughly loved this episode. Jinx Monsoon as Maestro did a fantastic job. They crushed it in this role, and they were having fun. You could tell exactly what they were going for the moment they showed up on screen. And this time, unlike the previous episode, I think the campiness that the episode has and the emotion and human drama mesh together very well. And I think that's mostly due to how the episode was paced and how they would introduce Maestro in different parts of the episode, especially when the Doctor and Ruby see the Beatles perform and they suck, they're horrible. And, it creates kind of this intrigue as you watch them go into this story. And let's talk about this for a second. We got a Susan shout out. We got a Susan mention. I really hope she shows up in the series. That would be fucking awesome. The Doctor kind of implied that maybe he has kids and grandkids out of order, which makes sense for Doctor Who with timey-wimey and everything, but I don't know if I love that. I would honestly love it if there was a situation where we met the Doctor's child. Like, that would be really cool, like Susan's parents. That would be awesome. I think a big standout moment in the episode for me is the Doctor coming to terms with the fact that this is the child of the toy maker, Maestro, and he seems genuinely worried that he won't be able to defeat them. And the way he kind of explains it to Ruby is like the last time he faced the toy maker, someone from the Pantheon, it ripped his soul in half. And it was very interesting to kind of hear that perspective on it. Because one, it makes me think they're not going to do bi-generation anymore, which I'm fine with that. But also, it just goes to show, when the most confident being in the universe, being the Doctor, is worried, that has weight, and you felt that weight in the episode. Some of the Beatles saving the day with the final chord was really nice. The actual final battle was done well, but the actual, speed up on the camera, catching the violin and saying music battle, I was like, okay, come on, you lost me. You lost me a little bit there, but it did get me back. And I will say, the joke about there always being a twist at the end, amazing. I loved that. I also loved all the fourth wall breaks in the episode. Maestro playing the Doctor Who theme on piano, and the best one, though, was Ncuti Gatwa saying, I thought that was non-diegetic. When the music attacked Ruby, I thought that was fucking hilarious. So yeah, I really, really liked the episode, just minus one or two issues I had with it. And I thought Space Babies was perfectly fine. I do think Church on Ruby Road, I kind of put that on a similar level with The Devil's Chord, although I might have recency bias, so I might have to do like a whole season rewatch when it's over to kind of break it down and rank the episodes themselves. And just for context, since I've never reviewed the channel before, I liked the 60th anniversary specials. I thought the first one was okay. I thought the second one was good. I thought the third one was great. I am beyond excited for Boom, Stephen Moffat's new episode. Stephen Moffat is my favorite Doctor Who writer. I apologize to half of you watching, but I just genuinely connect and love his stories, especially within the Doctor Who universe, so I'm very excited for Boom. Speaking earlier to the overall stories that Russell T Davies is setting up, you have the mystery of Ruby Sunday and her mother and her whole backstory. You have the fact that a lot of myths and legends are becoming real, which is seemingly connected to the salt at the edge of the universe from Wild Blue Yonder. And you have Susan Twist, who keeps popping up as different roles. What is going on with Susan Twist? Is it connected to Susan from the show? What happened? Susan Twist is the actress's name, by the way, not the character's name. But yeah, Russell T Davies does do a good job of creating that intrigue, and I am fucking intrigued, so it worked. I cannot wait to watch the rest of the season. And again, guys, I love this show. It's my all-time favorite television show. If you want to see me make more content about Doctor Who, please leave in the comments what I should make. I would love to do that for you. And what did you guys think of the episodes? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.